Oh wow, really?
Yeah, he actually said this. There's actually video. I think there's like a YouTube clip, and it went viral at some point. And he was like, "Well, obviously, I smell an aroma of
Pot.
weed in the air or something like that." I'm just like,
Well, I think it's the
ah,
same with gay people, though. I think I think I understand what you're saying. I think gay people and black people or Hispanic people, whatever, any minority, whatever, have a minority within them within their community that may have like if you're gay, there are certain gay people who are homophobic to some degree. They don't like effeminate gay men. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or stereotypical gay men or lesbians or whatever. And I think it's the same way with him being a black man. I think that he's embarrassed by certain black people, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not like that."
Yeah, because like it's if this photo had like three or four or five or six people in it, I would have even given two thoughts about this. But I mean, in this picture, if you look at it online, there is like
Right.
literally like a gaggle and then some of some people in this picture, and it's like not. I'm just like,
But on the flip
mm,
side of the coin, I mean, we've already talked about different races and how people don't always identify with their particular culture. So maybe it's just that he doesn't identify with black culture. This is just like we've talked about before, people that are raised
That's
in
right.
black culture or in those neighborhoods, and we accept it then. So it's not okay if it's the other way around.
Right. I agree with you. I understand. What do you think, Jason? Or do you disagree?
I
Because
don't know.
no,
I kind of
because
disagree.
yeah, I know you do.
I kind of disagree. I mean, his
No,
I'm
boyfriend
just
is
saying
cute.
we can't
I
we
will give
can't
him
say
that.
that it's okay for some people and it's not okay for other people.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think
Maybe I just have a strange way of thinking.
no, I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
you have a strange way. I think your viewpoint is very. It's what I would typically most black people I know think about the same type of situation. When
Right.
you
You want them to be in touch with their culture,
you
and I
want them
understand.
to black identified or whatever because your culture is important
And be
and
proud of
whatever
your color and your
exactly.
culture and your race.
And
And yeah.
Exactly. I guess that's just my thing because I'm thinking to myself, if I had no black friends, I would just be like, it would just be strange for me.
but
You know what I mean? I don't know.
what if you I wrote an article about this a long time ago, but what if you were a black person who grew up, maybe Don Lemon is one of these people. What if you were a black person who grew up in Beverly Hills, California, and you maybe knew one black person growing up around you, other than your parents, I mean, and you didn't have a sister or brother or whatever, and you end up going to Harvard, and you're surrounded by very few black people, and you end up going into stuff like what's it called the what's it called the financial district or Wall Street or whatever. You're on Wall Street or whatever, and you're one of those traders, and there's very few black people doing that as well. So my point is, your whole life you're black, but you've been surrounded by very few black people that look like you, and therefore you identify primarily with the culture you've been immersed in, which is the Caucasian culture, and therefore that's why most of your friends are white. And
Well, no,
so,
I've lived a similar life like that. I mean, I was born and raised in a predominantly white
uh
neighborhood.
huh,
I went to a predominantly white school, high school.
mm-hmm.
Went to a predominantly white college.
Right.
And I'm just like, it's just. I mean, and I was still able to identify with. I mean, even though, trust me, there was like a few black people here and there, but it was just like,
Well, what about me? Let me ask you that then. So, someone like myself who's biracial, do I have to identify and have black friends in order to stay in tune with that side of myself, or am I equally,
no,
or am I equally?
no, no, but it just seems like it seems like just again, I could be wrong, but again, this is the way I'm thinking of Don Lemon.
hmm
It's like I feel like, and this is all in my head now, but
Right.
it's like I feel like he really doesn't.
Well,
I
he
feel
may
like he
not,
probably doesn't like connect very well with
and he
black
may
people,
not,
or he just may be trying to avoid black
and
people.
he
I
may
don't know.
be, and that's his decision, that's his life to do it. But it bothers you because he's a black man, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't agree that everybody has to identify with their quote unquote race. I think that it's more about culture like we discussed previously. I think that if he identifies more with white people because that's what he identifies with, he's more comfortable with for whatever reason, just because he's black doesn't make him have to be around black people. And just because you're gay doesn't mean that all your friends have to be, or a lot of your friends or majority of your friends have to be gay. So I think, for me, for example, majority of my friends are heterosexual. I have a few gay friends, but most of them are heterosexual. So I think that that doesn't make me anti-gay or not liking my gayness any more than it does for him not liking his blackness. So I don't. I mean, I disagree with you on that, but anyway, interesting point. Did you hear?
Well, actually, a lot of people probably disagree.
That's okay, but no, I'm glad at least you made your point. Did you hear about the manager who was fired after his delivery driver replaced him over his skin color?
From Lowe's. Yes, I did read about that.
What did
Oh,
y'all?
I didn't
So,
Oh, you didn't hear about? Tell him about it. Tell him about it.
they were doing a order through Lowe's to have something delivered, like some wood or whatever. And this particular customer specifically said that she wanted a white driver, or she didn't say white driver. She just said not a black driver.
Right.
But I can't assume that she'd be fine with a Hispanic driver either. But whatever. Specified that she didn't want a black driver. Did they try to deliver it once before and it was a black driver? Is that what
What
happened?
happened?
And sent them back.
No, it was just this one time. It was just this one time.
Oh, just one time.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so the store manager of Lowe's said that was fine, and they ended up sending white driver and all was well. But the employee was pissed off, and then I guess it trickled its way up through corporate and management, and they ended up replacing that store manager because they said it was against their ethics, and they believe in multicultural type of chain of ordinance, and that it was just they should have completely denied that. So what do you think about that? Do you think, what comes first? Does a customer come first, and something that's kind of small, but actually if you look at it from the bigger picture, it really is a big issue? Or is it one of those things, should he have lost his job over that for trying to please the customer? What do you guys think?
Fuck that is what I say, because if you're gonna have equality in this country, you can't have a fucking person in a store, especially as big as Lowe's, say, "Oh, we're going to honor your request that we only have a black driver when we have equal opportunity laws, etc." That's obviously not going to fly with any major corporation, especially. Mm-hmm. So no, it's not acceptable for them to have done that. It was acceptable for Lowe's to fire the manager for thinking that was okay. That's my opinion. What do you think, Jason?
I guess my thing is why did they not want a black delivery
because they're
driver?
racist.
Because yes, and the customer said that she didn't want a black man in her home.
Oh well, yeah, I would fire the manager who was dumb enough to say, "Oh yeah, we can fulfill that request."
And they did. They fired him. So you
okay? Well, then that's what he gets.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
but you'll think next time before you do some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
See, I don't always think it's so easy, because I'm sure from the store manager's perspective, he's like, okay, this is a simple request. It really is a simple request.
Right.
Regardless of its social issue, it's like, do you want a green truck or a blue truck? You know what I mean?
But this is not about truck color. This is about
I know,
racism.
but I'm just saying, and I'm sure in the store manager's mind, this is a simple thing to please the customer. And I'm sure they hoot and holler about customer service and blah, 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 blah. So I can understand from that perspective, you're trying to please the customer. You're not really thinking of it as a social issue. Now, if you are working in a company that is about equality through race or whatever it is, then absolutely not. But I could honestly 100% say I've worked for some companies that were, very liberal, that would, bend over backwards to help a customer.
Well, what do you mean by that? They were very liberal and they would bend over backwards to help a customer. What does that mean?
Like, they're very equal opportunity employers.
Yes.
But they love helping their customers. So, if a customer specified on something, they would probably do it.
Well,
to please the customer.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I think that's okay if you're asking about the color of something or whatever, but you're talking about the color of a human being. I think it's just not okay.
Well, no, I definitely don't agree with it. But
you're saying the request itself is simple enough to honor if they wanted to, but I don't think it was right to have done it.
Right.
Right. Okay. Well, did you hear about the gay guy in the undercover video? Did you guys see that? There was an undercover video who showed a candidate who was gay, and he was going for a job interview. And he and a friend of his, they both went and interviewed for the same job. And one of them was openly gay, and he literally exceeded all of the prerequisites for the job. The other guy was straight, and he met like none of the job requirements. And so the first guy comes in there, the gay guy, he's interviewed, whatever. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're perfect. When could you start?"
Blah, you're cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh, am I? He said, "Oh my God, you're perfect. When can you start?" And the guy said, he said, "Okay, well, he told him whatever." And he said, "Well, my boyfriend and I just moved into an apartment. When's the best time for us to, to let him know he was gay?" And the guy goes, "Oh, Well, let me show you. Let me show you out. He said we have a lot of people still looking for this job, and more people applying for this job. And he shut him out of the door. And then the straight guy comes in. He has none of the requirements, and he hires them. He calls the straight guy, offers him the job a week later, and he said the straight guy says, "I'm interested in working for a racist bigot like you," or something like that. So, do you think you've ever been denied a job because you were gay? Or do you think it continues to happen?
Again, I've been very, very fortunate to work in the fashion industry, which is a very gay industry. So personally, no. If I think back early in my teen years when I was trying to get a job at like any fast food place or whatever, I could probably say that, or it was uncomfortable. But I've never been to a job interview and not been hired. So as far as that goes, I haven't experienced it.
That's good. What about you, Jason? Well, I don't know if you're even openly gay. Are you openly gay or not?
No, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
But I've just never I've never had the experience of, not
Do you
being,
talk about
being denied a job because I was gay. I mean, I've never had that issue, but
okay.
Do you talk about being gay at the workplace? Because both of you guys are like pretty masculine, if you will. So
really?
is that something that you talk about, or?
Well, that's not something I've heard very much. But okay,
I mean,
thank you.
I don't talk about it.
Donovan, shut up.
First of all, I don't discuss my personal business at work because normally, first of all, I don't know these bitches. So I mean, I know them from like a coworker standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's not like, oh, let's go out and grab drinks and have a gay old time after work.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not like that. So I don't tell my business. I don't put my business out like that. Now there are a few people that I have become friends with, through work, and now that's a different platform. They know stuff about me. I know stuff about them. That type of thing. But what
about your boss?
Average, no, because she's a fucking bitch. So
she doesn't know you're gay.
No.
Okay. So if you just hypothetically you came out to her, or she found out you were gay somehow, do you think she would fire you because you're gay, or try to find a way to get you out because you're gay?
I don't think so. Just for the simple fact that she always has gay men coming to her office visiting her. So
okay, well that's good.
I don't think she will fire me because I'm gay. I think she will fire me just because she doesn't like me. So
maybe if she found out you'd gay, she might like you.
We don't have that kind of thing. Sorry.
Well, no. I know that when I was 25, I started my business when I was 25, actually. When I was 25, the last job I worked at a commercial real estate place, and it was extremely conservative. And I mean, like old people, conservative, like button up and buns and shit like that. Okay. And people had like pictures of Bush on their, their fucking, desk and all that kind of bullshit.
It was the 50s, right?
Basically, yes. It's like walking back into time. Anyway, but that place, I was openly gay. Well, actually, I came in there. I never said I was gay or wasn't gay. But when I was interviewing for the job, the president, the CEO asked me, he said, "So are you married?" And I said, no. And, I'm looking, are you looking to have kids someday? Whatever. It's like, yeah. And these are actually illegal questions, by the way. You're not supposed to be able to ask those questions. And so we went on and whatever. And I got the job eventually and went on about my business for, I don't know, about a year, the marketing director, manager type thing. Anyway. And while I was there, one day, this bitch that worked with me, she came into the office and she was talking to this woman worked with anyway, Joy, and she said something about gay people. I can't remember what it was or whatever. I said, "Excuse me, but I'm gay." Oh, she knows what she goes. She goes, "That's so gay," or like something like that to Joy. I go, "Excuse me, but I'm gay," and she goes, "What?" I go, "I'm gay," and she's like, "Oh," and I'm like, I don't appreciate you saying that in my presence, and so that's all I said. And then from that point on, it went around the rumor mill, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's gay," what's his boyfriend look like? Anyway, just on and on and on. And then the end of my contract, it was a contract thing. I went into the office, and they were going to renew it. And until then, everything was great. They gave me bonuses, and I was doing a great job. Went in to renew the contract, and she tells me, she says, "Well, I'll be honest with you. It's between you and one other person." I go, who's the other person? I said, I've been doing this job for a year. Why would you want to hire someone else? And she said, well, we're just not sure you're the right fit and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I was the right fit a month ago. And so anyway, my point is they fired me. And so I figured that I'm pretty